Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. This video is going to be a large country house. So this is part one, so that will be the building and the exterior and all the outside, so the decking area and the landscaping and all of that sort of thing. And then part two will be the inside, so all the interior and planning out which way the rooms are and all of that stuff. For some reason my screen has just frozen and I can't actually see what's happening at the moment. So this is just the building of the outside. So basically we're looking for a sort of English or European style of build that's just like a large family home, and I feel like it would probably fit best in Windenburg on The Sims, which is where I have put it. It's one of the outer town ones. It's got kind of a higgledy-piggledy kind of look to it. The roof is structured, but it's kind of everywhere, and there are little turrety bits coming out. I just feel like that gives the shape a lot more dimension, and also when it comes to putting things on the inside, it also makes it a lot easier to work out different room dimensions and just how it's going to look. So here we are finishing off the roof there, and I think it just looks good having different parts stick out, makes it look a lot more interesting, and I feel like it does fit into how houses look. I live in England, and my house isn't this big by any means, and it's not in the countryside, it's more in a town, and the roof is like this, and there are turrety bits and things like that. It's not flat and modern, although the insides can be very modern. In England that look isn't as common, and they are much more expensive houses or much more extravagant houses that seem to have that modernised look. You can, however, get quite a modern interior with a more traditional exterior, which is what is going to happen for this build, and that's what I wanted. I really love sort of country, kind of like a barn conversion sort of thing, so a really old and rustic exterior with a really either completely modern interior or a kind of industrialised interior. I really like, and that's the sort of theme I've gone for. So it is quite a country house, so the inside won't be maybe how you think it would look. Obviously you have to wait for part two. I am only halfway through furnishing it, but I've done the downstairs and it really is quite a modern take on a country look. So it's quite open plan, well, it's very open plan actually. There's big doors, the brick that's going to go on the exterior then goes onto the inside, so it kind of brings that oldie look but into a newy way, which I really like. We've skipped ahead here because something went wrong with me putting in the cheats and it cut half of the footage off. But here I am doing the exterior, so I've put the Windenburg brick on the outside with the white striped lines, and I've trimmed everything with white, so it's kind of this whitey grey browny look. And I've also put flower boxes under all the windows, and I'm now going around putting flowers and kind of trellises up the side of the house. I kind of do a bit of an overkill on this maybe, but I really like how it looks actually. Something that I really do ignore when I usually build is the exterior. I mean, I do a lot, but then I really neglect the trees and the flowers and all of that sort of thing. So I thought today, if we started with it, I would actually pay some attention to it, and I think in the end it makes it really come together. So I really wanted to do something nice out the front. I really love this new trellis fencing that came with the backyard stuff pack. That just fits this sort of style perfectly. And it's something that The Sims was kind of lacking. I mean, the fences aren't great. I felt like putting too many bushes there kind of was an overkill. Always make sure you put some dirt around everywhere. It does make it look a lot more realistic. In a second, we're going to jump to the pond. Here we are. Okay, so I've made a bit of a walkway, and then I've put stones around the edges. So I feel like this just makes it a lot more natural. Obviously, I've learnt this off other people's channels like Deligracy and Sim Supply and people like that I've watched. Definitely not my idea, but I think it looks so natural around a pond, and because you obviously get the really sharp lines. So if you go with the custom tool and just make any old shape random, and then put the stones around the edge, it really just gives it such a natural look, and I feel like it kind of looks like a little bridge going across the top. I just really liked that and how it looked, and I liked having the little trellis fence over certain parts of it. I thought that just was a bit different, not something I'd really looked at or done before. I also kept the water this colour. In the swimming pool later I make it the more vibrant blue, which came with one of the stuff packs, I believe, or one of the game packs, or one of them. And I think something, maybe the red was just in an update or something, I can't really remember. But I kept it like that. I didn't want to make it the boggy sort of colour, and I didn't want to make it red, and I didn't want rose petals, but I didn't want it a really vibrant blue. I don't think that really goes with the natural sort of look. Sorry, the camera keeps jumping over there. My keys aren't working properly, so when I press some of the cheat keys, it flips me over to the other side of the lot. So it's a bit strange, I'm not really sure what's going on there. So this is just decorating the pond a bit, putting more foliage around there. You can see me testing out the different colours there, and it really helps to just put plants. It makes it look so much more natural. Here I tested putting a wedding arch there, but I didn't know whether it would work, and I didn't really like what it looked like, to be honest. And then I decided to do a little trellis thing along the top. What do you call those? I don't know, sort of a canopy thing with, you know, with the holes in it, and then stood up by some columns with a bit of foliage on the top. I just thought that added to it. I felt like the entrance bit wasn't quite grand enough. I really like the red door. I felt that gave it quite an English vibe, because I don't know, red seems to be, well, red obviously goes with England because, you know, red and white, but kind of like post boxes, buses, that sort of thing links with England. So I did the red door, and I felt like it just kind of added it in there, as red just works. And also there's a nice red post box that came, so with the get together, so that just went and tied it all in nicely, because I felt like there was just a lot of green, blues and whites, and here this is where I'm putting this in. So I put 2 bins in the wider section there, and just to fence that off, not so you can't see it as much, but it's still easily accessible. And then that was the little post box in there, just quite quick. Yeah, I put 2 bins in because I feel like, at least with how the system works in England, there are, well, where I live anyway, it might actually be different in other places in the country, but we have different coloured bins for different things, and then different coloured boxes for recycling. So I thought having 2 different bins, usually one's garden waste and one's household waste, so I thought it just made it a bit more realistic for where it was supposed to be set. I put a little bench out the front just to fill that area, make it look a bit more realistic, put a bit of flowers around there. Maybe it's not kept so much, but it's there for people to sit on if they so wish. Just doing a bit more addition around the edges, making it a bit browner, just to make it look that bit more realistic, which I think that does work that way. So we've got a bit of a raised decking area, and then I also wanted to fit in a swimming pool. It's slightly narrow and it just goes around the back corner of the garden, but I feel like it's big enough, you know, Sims aren't bothered by how big the swimming pool is, they can swim in the tiniest of little things. So that, I think that works fine, and the trimming around the edge just gives it a nice finish as well. I used the rocky steps rather than the more modern traditional ones. I also put a hedge around this bit. I didn't feel like I wanted a fence all the way around. There's quite a lot of natural surroundings, so I wanted that to be linked in as well. This is a new table that came with the backyard stuff pack, and you can have 1, 2, 3, 6 people sit around the edge. But in a circle, which I've not seen obviously in The Sims 4 before. I've not actually play tested it, so it should work okay. I feel like that's what it was designed for. And then I put a little barbecue area over here, just to make use of that little back corner. I always feel like barbecues are nice and useful within The Sims. I always find they cook a lot quicker than an oven. Because it's all done on one appliance, they seem to do it quickly. So if I want something that's quite quick, I always seem to do that. And then obviously it serves, so you get 8 as like a party meal size. So I feel like it works quite well. These were the sofas from... There have been so many stuff packs now. Patio stuff pack, I feel that would make so much sense. I use them quite a lot outside, but I hadn't used that colour in a while, so I went with that. There's a few tree stumps as well, which the Sims can actually sit on, but I thought it just made it link in with the outside a little bit more. That was the outdoor retreat sink going in there. Kind of glitched with the thing, so I brought it forward. But putting a hot tub, I love the hot tubs. I just think that's another thing that people can do. Another place for people to try for babies, you know, there's a few of them now. It kind of changes it up a bit. This is me looking for, you know, the tree with the lanterns, which I've just found. So I put that in there just because I always find lighting on the outside is a problem. So I put that in there. So these are the screenshots now. And you might see a bit more of the exterior when we go around the interior. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, because although this one was maybe a little bit boring, it is just the edges. But maybe you learnt a few tips and tricks with it, hopefully. And I can assure you the inside video will be a lot more interesting. I also added a few lanterns in there with the red again, just to tie in. I think it looks nice and it lights up around the edges. But thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time, and bye!